Good evening, viewer. Welcome to our Glory Globe TV. Here is the breaking news from Ballina. Yes, County Mayo, Ireland. Lauren and Amelie Blair may have been in preschool at that time, but they were old enough to know that then Vice President Joe Biden had committed a serious breach of maritime etiquette. He was just dating our chiefs, Lauren 10 says, a mixture of delight and outrage crossing her face. Amelie 12 remembers Biden's laser focus when the fancy meals came out. He just wanted the chiefs, that is called the French fries and chicken nuggets, she says. That visit happened 7 years ago when Biden arrived in the small town of Ballina, County Mayo in Ireland. The Beloit children are still wide-eyed as they recall lunch with Biden, their grandfather's third cousin, and they are excited for his return visit this week. This will be a more high-profile trip than the last one, when Biden spotted a US baseball cap talking to children and surprising the locals. Today, residents' WhatsApp groups are buzzing with reported sightings of Secret Service agents. Well, the local council is mending the manhole covers and the community is pulling out all the stops. The girl's father, plumber Joe Beloit, 43, says. The family speak to CNN in front of a large mural of Biden's face that overlooks the market square in central Ballina. Painted during his 2020 campaign for the White House, it illustrates how this town of about 10,000 near Ireland's wild western coast celebrates America's commander-in-chief as a native son. Biden's great-great-great-great-grandfather, Edward Beloit, was among the millions of people who left Ireland in 19th century after the Irish potato famine, selling to the US and settling in the president's birthplace of Scantron in northeast Pennsylvania. The family's Irish identity has held strong for more than 100 years as Beloits who remain in Ballina testify that Biden is no exception. Over coffee, Joe Beloit's sister's podcaster and fundraiser Loretta tells CNN his family are steeped in Irish traditions. He talks about it all the time. Loretta has just returned from a St. Patrick's Day event Biden hosted at the White House. He tells great story of basically growing up in an Irish household, even though obviously they are very much American. Andrew Jackson, Ronald Reagan, and Barack Obama are just some of the US presidents to trace their roots back to early Irish immigrants to America. But Biden, a descendant both of the Beloits in Ballina and the Finnegans of County Louth of Ireland's East Coast, has been touted as the most Irish of Americans to sit in the Oval Office since John F. Kennedy. Kennedy, the great-grandson of barrel maker Patrick Kennedy from New Ross, County Wexford, started Ireland's love affair with Irish heritage American presidents when he visited in 1963 in what he described as the best 4 days of my life. Mark Minihan, who was a 16-year-old student in New Ross at the time, told CNN he was the first president to kind of declare his Irishness. All his 8 great-grandparents were Irish. He had really nailed the Irish thing to the must, and he was coming to New Ross. It was, yes, unheard of, really. The people of New Ross eagerly anticipated Kennedy's visit, which was preceded by a rush to buy TV sets because it was going to be put on television. Willie Kathy recalls residents who were soon in thrall to the town's newly discovered native song. Kathy was one of hundreds of children who laid out on the grass to spell out the Irish word for welcome as the helicopter of America's 35th president landed. I was 10 at the time. We had not even been to the airport. A helicopter was completely novel, he remembered. Minihan, the 16, noted Kennedy's sparkling smile and perfectly cut suit. The president was so well dressed compared to all of our crowd, he says. We were very straight fellas with hats and everything, and he was a prince who would not even describe it. When he spoke, he had the whole place in his hand in 10 to 20 seconds. TV footage of Kennedy's speech on the bank of the river Barrow, where CNN met with Minihan and Carthy, notes the thousands cheering with the enthusiasm that only Irishmen can muster for one of their own. It was a source of pride for the country to have the president associate himself with Ireland, Minihan says, and obviously for New Roads it was exceptional. I suppose the town took on a whole new life. The transformative effect of Kennedy's visit was nowhere more evident than at the farmhouse from which his great-grandfather had left for Boston more than a century earlier. The president's cousin, Mary Ryan, got her first unwanted taste of fame when she hosted a tea party for him in the courtyard, and after he left, the farm saw an influx of tourists. She had go out to milk the cows in the morning, but she had to have a crowd follow her. So then she had go back into the kitchen. Her grandson, Patrick Grennan, says they were climbing in over gates to see the palace. In an attempt to manage the crowds, Ryan opened a small room of the old dwelling to visitors, but, said Grennan, big holes started appearing in the walls. People were looking for souvenirs. Grennan now runs the farm and has opened a visitors center next to the family home. Visitors to New Ross can also stop a replica ship of the Dumfries, which carried thousands of Irish immigrants to North America in the 1840s. But the most popular tribute to an American president may now lie on the road between Dublin and Limerick. A serene to Obama sits just outside his ancestral home of Moneygall on the site of Ireland's M7 motorway. Statues of America's 44th president and his first lady grin and wave at passing drivers, hoping to entice them to stop at the gas station that bears his name. The delight of visiting Americans is such that the Barack Obama Plaza has gone viral on TikTok. Tourists film themselves posing with cardboard cutouts of the Obamas, buying souvenir coins with his face on and stopping by a visitor center that runs video of his visit. Obviously, the cardboard cutouts that we have here are phenomenally popular, says operational manager Henry Halley. He is a distant relative of Obama and proud of it, talking to CNN during an interview in the station's open plan cafeteria. Halley smiles as he remembers meeting Obama in front of the world's media in Moneygall when he visited in 2011. It was like watching a cartoon character step out of a TV screen, he says. Obama's great-great-great-grandfather on his mother's side, a shoemaker named Falmouth Curley, left Moneygall in the 1850s, making Halley an eighth cousin. Obama nicknamed him Henry VIII. Obama was moved when he saw something of his ancestors' humble beginnings. Halley says, when we entered his ancestral home with him, the president choked up a little and pounded his foot on the timer floor. He said, my grandfather's grandfather lived from here. You could hear the emotion in his voice. There are no TV cameramans and also cameras here. Beyond the report, Glory Globe TV, Delhi, India.